honor.
We were used to see like
7 years, so I think we'll have to try this connection for the first game because it will come very soon, very soon.
Thank you very much, Antoine. All the best for this edition. The first team to finish
competition. The way you start sets you up well or not so well, depending how it goes. So it's going to be a big focus on a proper performance to start us off. We're off to Portugal later on today. We've a nice training camp there, and then transfer across to Paris early next week. So yeah, it's a short turnaround, not a whole lot of time, but it sharpens the mind definitely, and it's one to get excited about. It's always a privilege. As Jamie was saying, you can never take it for granted, especially being in the roles that we are in as leaders. It's such a special tournament. It's towards the pinnacle of the game, and yeah, it's always an exciting time of year.
Thank you very much, Phil. I mean, everybody's waiting for that. How has it? Well,
I'll have to know the one. Second to the left, Joe.
Gonzalo. Everyone down a B. So you'll forget that.
Just for proof that we're doing something. Ellie, can you commit?
We need to move back for the flash.
Yeah, so you're fighting there. I was just going to say something.
It's always great, like, if we were to get the shot, but then Boy used to do the issues, you know? Yeah, I think it's 6 Nations and maybe it does.
And then next we go into the big group shot. Greatest one, so where's the Billy, do you want that one with the ball? Yeah, give him a in a little bit. Okay, all swans and really small. That's nice, yeah. Serious. Get a serious one. Okay, just again, sorry, Phil. Straight down, just go serious for this one, guys. Nice and serious, everyone. That's it, nice and serious. Okay, can you turn a little bit out? No, you're right. Can you turn a little bit? That's nice. That's good. Okay, hold on there, guys. Guys, straight in here. Okay, guys, straight at Billy for me, please. Nice and serious. Yeah. Okay.
And we are live, and it is time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports Six Nations Saturday, the last Six Nations Saturday. It all comes down to the next, about 6 hours, really, of just absolute epic rugby. And this has probably been the best Six Nations. I tell you what, this could be one of the best Six Nations I can actually remember watching, to be honest. I don't think I've ever been as invested in the Six Nations. I don't think we've seen a Six Nations with as many upsets. I mean, it's literally the first time Italy has beaten England ever, let alone, in the Six Nations and the likes of that. And we come into the Saturday with 3 potential winners, and 2 of them about to kick off. It is Ireland versus Scotland over here. That's going to be the big one, isn't it, really, of the day? England versus France. Well, I suppose if England pitch up and beat France, then the winner of this would probably win the Six Nations, depending on various points difference and the likes of that. So it's all to play for, really, at the Aviva Stadium. And I tell you what a moment it would be if Scotland were to lift the Six Nations trophy. But let's get into the stream here. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Drop your core predictions into the comments as well. And we do have kickoff as Hugh Jones already into the action underneath kickoff. And Piers Kuhlman will have his first carry of what will be many today, this afternoon at the Aviva Stadium. Scotland and Argentina and Ireland is going to be a fantastic clash. And I think for me, for the first time maybe in a while, I'm looking at Ireland and Scotland, and I think if you kind of go the combined team, you could almost argue for more Scots than Irish players with regards to the form that we've seen in the Six Nations. But an early opportunity now for Ireland after the clearance from Scotland doesn't find touch to have a bit of a go at this Scottish defence. Ball available for Jameson Gibson Park and goes short to Tadhg Furlong. Nice positive start here for the men in green. And a bit of space as well as almost gets through this Crowley. Ball comes loose, knock on advantage, and Finn Russell does manage to get a kick away and will find touch just past the 10 meter, but it'll come back for the knock on from Crowley himself. And big opportunity for Jack Crowley. He wasn't in the side in the early couple of rounds and has been backed since then. And I think he's been good, actually, Jack Crowley. I mean, I think that Scotland we'll look at that 10 channel and know that's where they can kind of potentially make inroads. But I've been impressed with how Jack Crowley's managed to very calmly come into the side. But if you go to the sides, for example, to Ireland in the front row as we get our first scrum, Tom O'Toole, Dan Shear and Tadhg Furlong up against Piers Kuhlman, George Turner and Xander Ferguson. Should be a really good scrum battle. I always say that the biggest problem with Scotland is their engine room. And, Max Williamson, Grant Gilchrist in over there, and one of those two are going to have a big game today. But I think, for example, you look at the back rows, you've got Jack Conan, Josh Van der Fleer, Caelan Doran, it's a world-class back row. But equally, I think if you look at Scotland, Matt Ferguson, Rory Darge, and Jack Dempsey, good players there, and form players. Gibson Park, I think, the better nines, but Finn Russell, the better of the tens, and it's a good scrum from Scotland. But Ireland do get the penalty. It'll be an interesting one there. Tadhg Furlong is celebrating, but Scotland don't think will be too upset with that. But I think if you look at the backlines, for example, you look at, a player for player, if you go Finn Russell, Jack Crowley, you're probably going Finn Russell. Carl Steyn versus Tommy O'Brien, you're probably going to go Carl Steyn in current form. You should have classed him brilliant, but I think that, Hooper Lotto as a combination are probably more in form than the Irish centres. Rob Balakoon's been sensational for Ireland. Darcy Graham's going to have to step up today. And whilst Jamie Osborne's been solid, I think Blake Kingland's absolutely world-class. But an early opportunity for I think it's Balakoon to get involved nice and early. And on the doorstep here, I'm looking for that early try. I'll tell you what, one more try, and then do go straight over. Jamie Osborne opens the score, and that's exactly what you've got to do against Scotland. You've got to score early, and Ireland do exactly that. They know it's all to play for this afternoon, and they can't afford a slow start. Well, they've not done that at all. They've scored within the first 3 minutes. It is Jamie Osborne. What a line it was being run by him, but just so many Scottish defenders sucked into that. And immediately, Finn Russell just telling everybody to breathe, because what Scotland can't do is panic. As mentioned, if we look at the table right now, it is Scotland 18 points, France 16, Ireland 60. Well, that was actually at kickoff here. So that'll obviously change given the fact that Ireland have gone back into the lead. But yeah, a win for Scotland puts them in at 20 points. A bonus point wins puts them at 21. Now, points different wise, France have got lots and lots of points in Scotland, so they need England to do the favour. So Scotland at the moment, I mean, realistically are not going to, I don't think, hammer Ireland, even if they beat Ireland. I mean, beating Ireland will be huge. Look at the means to Andy Farrell. Big celebration from him. They just got to try and beat Ireland. Ideally, try and find a bonus point, and then hope that England can just pull something out. In fact, the bonus point's pretty arbitrary. I think it's about beating Ireland and then hoping England can try and do them a favour later. But this is not the start that they would have wanted. 7-0 within 5 minutes. Ireland, however, well, it's an outside chance for them at the moment. A win gives them to 18 points. A bonus point will take them to 90. Once again, they'll need England to do them a favour later. So it'll be an interesting clash when you consider that the result of this could well determine the Six Nations, and yet it'll only determine the Six Nations if England win later, which is in 2 games' time, not even a second game. So these guys will be showered and on the pints long before the game even kicks off. That'll eventually decide their fate. And a long pass out wide, Carl Steyn comes inside. Rob Ballacoon makes the tackle. This is where Scotland have been so dangerous, is finding space out wide, and Carl Steyn had an absolute masterclass against France, where they absolutely took them apart. But that points difference, which they should have had, could come back to bite them, really. I mean, it's a 79 points difference to 16 currently. It should have been to about 23 before that try. But you think that Scotland had about 30 points on France at a stage. That's a big split. It's 60 points, really. That'll basically be level. And but here we go. Tupilotta. This is where he's so dangerous. Lots of space. Comes inside of Furlong. Eventually brought down by Ringrose just by 22. Positive work this year from Scotland. Looking to try and hit back after that early try by Jamie Osborne. Xander Ferguson takes it in. The British and Irish line in the number 3 jersey. Good ball retention from Scotland. Ben White goes, and it's a nice big carry there coming from Grant Gilchrist. Discipline now needed from Ireland. And there's Max Williamson. I mentioned that the 2 locks are going to have to step up today from Ireland. I mean, for Scotland, rather. And Xander Ferguson, once again, this is very good. 11 phases here from Scotland. And this is what they do so well. A couple of phases here with the forwards, and then Finn Russell sees a bit of space, and all of a sudden they start shifting to the left. Hugh Jones is lurking. There's Finn Russell. Here is Hugh Jones. Goes short. Comes inside as Darcy Graham. No scrum cap at the moment, so not as recognisable as usual. Jack Dempsey with a nice carry, though. 14 phases now from Ireland. Williamson, good read that from Joe McCarthy. Gets up nice and just slows a bit of momentum. But Xander Ferguson pops to Finn Russell. He's got plenty of options. Carl Steyn gets away from one. Carl Steyn runs to a couple of big forwards. Back to Finn Russell. Options. Skip pass out wide. Comes back inside. Very nice work that from Finn Russell. George Turner with a bit of space. Almost a half gap being broken there. Rory Darge this time. Pierce Schoeman now. The Scud missile from South Africa. And they're on the 5 metres. Finn Russell delays the pass. Blair Kingwood and Darcy Graham into the corner. Scotland do hit back. And it is electric. It's the ball retention. This is the thing, and this is why I feel like Scotland have progressed throughout the tournament. I mean, they'll be kicking themselves when they think of who they've lost to in this tournament. I mean, they should be coming here to win the Six Nations, but that loss to Italy is going to bite them in the arse. But at the moment, they're just playing with the confidence where they can keep ball in hand. They can find meters gained, and the first real opportunity they've had, and they have struck. So both sides, very clinical early on. Pierce Schoeman, that's a massive carry, sucking up defenders, and then Finn Russell just delaying the pass, which then commits the defender to Kinghorn. Kinghorn just offloads to the right-hand side. Darcy Graham around the corner. Big kick to come here from Finn Russell, but important for Scotland to respond, because we know Ireland are quick starters. They're a bit like a Leinster in the last couple of seasons, where they start well but can fade. So Scotland, I think they're a side which did fade against France that just need to make sure they kind of go toe-to-toe. And a big important kick this from Finn Russell, and he answers it by going straight down the middle. So 7-7 after 8 minutes. The perfect start, really, if you're a neutral like myself, and I think we're in for an absolute cracker. Italy versus Wales. I'm expecting Italy to make a bit of a statement, and I tell you what, a loss for Ireland, for example, would put them down 14 points. Italy can actually go up to 14 points, and if they get a bonus point when against Wales, which I expect them to do, and if Ireland lose by anything more than sort of 10-15, then Italy only need to win by 30, which is a lot, obviously, but against Wales it could happen, and they could find themselves in third of all things, with however England obviously play. But England, unless they beat France, will finish below Italy. If Italy wins today, then that will guarantee that. So England to finish 5th is pretty locked on, unless they beat France and Italy struggle against Wales, which is pretty unlikely. Jamie Osborne now from the clearance off the kick on the restart. Ireland looking to try and respond as they kind of go into Scotland's half, as Caelan Doris, the captain, carries himself. Good work being done there by a couple of the Scottish loose forwards. Lots of options to the left-hand side as Osborne offloads. Crowley holds on to, and then McCloskey barrages over. He's been very good this tournament, has Stuart McCloskey. Really sort of solidified his number 12 jersey from Bandiaki. Penalty advantage, and first penalty of the game goes for offsides. Gibson Park thinks about the quick tap and decides against it. Going into some of the comments, somebody at Irish said hi, and Leon says, stressing not in front of a TV for the live game. Maria saying, come on Ireland. Rainbow Noob saying, come on Ireland. Maria saying, well done Ireland as well. Chris Williams says, better than nothing. Thank you from the Sahara. Come on Ireland. And Leon Skater was said, is common Scotland. What's your accent? It's South African. But maybe not your sort of typical South African accent. There is a bit of British mixed into the mix. But yeah, born and bred in South Africa. You can see our bookie over there. But as it stands right now, Scotland on 18 points with the draw. A win obviously takes them to 20 points, and a bonus point win can take them to 21 points, which is where France can finish later with a bonus point win against England. But if Scotland get a bonus point win and France win without a bonus point, Scotland will be crowned Six Nations champions, which, considering that, I think we were talking a year ago about, Gregor Townsend potentially getting the sack, is quite impressive. But and I think, to be fair, that sums up Scotland underneath them, because when they're on, goodness me, are they on, and they become one of the best teams to watch in the world. But when they're off, yeah. Right, here we go. 5 minutes out, and they go into the corner for the penalty, looking for the rolling maul. So he breaks away his damn shit, and he goes over. That's really poor from Scotland, completely taken by surprise. So busy stopping the rolling maul that they weren't ready for Dan Sheehan, who just burst out of nowhere and dives over. So, trading blows at the moment, and Ireland land their second blow of the match. 18 tries in 39 games for Dan Sheehan. It's a pretty prolific record, in fact. And it just, as Scotland so sort of set on trying to stop the maul, a couple of Irish players came into the side, and he just burst to the side, and everyone sort of just caught unawares. Tupalotis picks it up, but far too late. Can barely get a hand on him before he dives over. And we talk about being clinical. Well, Ireland, 2 opportunities inside Scotland off and a try. Will that come in? It does come back inside from Jack Crowley. Sort of a bit of a sidewinder there. And Scotland, in fairness to them as well, 1 opportunity in Ireland territory and a try. So I think we are going to see a game where these two are going to trade blows. Could become very, very interesting. Milan's channel says, come on Scotland, and Rory Gibson backing the Scots as well. So quite a diverse audience in the comments. Very interesting poll as well. Ireland with 52% of the votes will he'll win the clash. Scotland with 45%, just 3% banking on the draw. McCloskey underneath the kickoff. Runs into Williamson. And I think that's Jack Dempsey as well, who coped pretty well with that. Gibson Park now will look for the clearance. Please do smash like on the video, people. Almost 500 people watching. Only 23 likes. Does look to see if he's going to look for touch here. Gibson Park, he does find touch. That'll be just past the 10-meter line. So an opportunity now for Scotland to get a bit of ball in hand. And those first 12 minutes have a race by. Things as it stands right now. Ireland with 18 points. Scotland with 17. France with 16. France obviously to play at about 10 o'clock if you're in South Africa. About 9 o'clock if you're in the UK. They go short though, do Scotland. So do retain it. And Finn Russell fires off to Hugh Jones. Maybe not the best pass, but Hugh Jones always seems to find a few yards. Brought down by McCloskey on the halfway line. Ben White looking for options. Flings it out to Rory Dodge. Dan Sherman's having it quickly. Ball comes a bit loose there. Ben White under a bit of pressure, but penalty. Luke Pearce just say, I think offside actually of Scotland there. Or kicking the ball in the ruck is the call. But the intensity so far has been right up there. And I'm expecting some big games throughout the afternoon. I mean, huge incentive. I mean, for the likes of an Italy, a win solidifies a 4th place finish for them. They can't get to 3rd, but a 4th ahead of England and Wales. They'll take that. That win against England will be. I mean, to be fair, I think they can lose that, and I still consider it a successful Six Nations. That win against England, so historic. And Wales, they got to try and show something. They have definitely improved. There's no doubt about that. It's a fantastic kick from us. Tell you what, he's put them 10 metres out here. Turner with ball in hand. Can Scotland now trade their blow? Gilchrist goes up. Gilchrist comes down with it. They've had a very good line throughout the competition of Scotland. And Turner goes around the corner. Quick ball here from White. Back on the angle, though, goes Jack Dempsey. Now Ireland need to turn from attack to defence here. Good Dempsey. Ben White looking for a snipe. Goes short. Spinning in the tackle there. Ball available though. Xander Ferguson picks up and goes around the corner. Dan Sheehan there, as is Gary Ringrose. And they're up to the task. Pick up and go from Max Williams. Get there in the end. And now Grant Gilchrist waits for it. Finn Russell talking to Blake Kinghorn. He's not interested in it at the moment. That's what Finn Russell does. He waits. And when he calls for it, Tupalotta looking at his options. He goes to clean up a bit. Finn Russell still pointing at his forwards. He's not interested in it just yet. Blake Kinghorn's right behind him. They got the ability to go to the right or the left. Ben White. Gilchrist now. Straight down. Ball available. Finn Russell still not interested. Carl Steyn hugging the left-hand touchline in the background. Xander Ferguson. Now here comes Finn Russell. He's caught on the ball, in fact, and it's a turnover ball from Gary Ringrose. Pops it up to Jack Conan. Mistake that from Finn Russell. Caleb Doris now. Maybe a little bit too casual that from Finn Russell. Gibson Park goes back to Crowley. Crowley's going to go down the field. Blake Kinghorn has dropped in, but the bounce of the ball might actually do him here. It has done him. It's a fantastic kick from Jack Crowley. They're all the way back inside their own half. Scotland, but they'll take confidence out of the fact that it was a promising build-up. He'll apologise to Finn Russell, just caught on the ball there. And I'll tell you what, if he gets that offload away, I think Blake Kinghorn are through. But they're taking it quickly. I've got a bit of space on the right-hand side. There comes Carl Steyn. Carl Steyn puts his head down. But they're going to go all the way back, referee saying, I'm not sure if they were allowed to take it or if it wasn't 5 or... Okay, so what had actually happened there is that Scotland took it quickly. The referee initially said it was okay, but the touch judge said no, there was 2 and 2, therefore deciding that the line-out had been formed. So we'll go back for the line. It will be a Scotland ball just past their own 10-metre line. It's been held up here from Scotland. I mean, for Ireland, they've got lots. Once the call, I don't think that ball's coming out. And they will manage to turn it over. That's poor from Scotland. You can probably see why they try to take the other one quickly early on. Because of that man there, Joe McCarthy, kind of sort of picking up where Peter O'Mahony left off with regards to being that sort of more defense specialist, a really good line option. So scrum time now. Xander Ferguson having a conversation with Luke Pearce. He'll be wanting in his ear about a couple of things that he thinks that Tom O'Toole is doing. Now Pearce coming up against Tydford on 2 British and Irish Lions tourists from last year. And there's a free kick and free taken from Gibson Park. He fires out to McCloskey. McCloskey puts his head down. Finn Russell and Tupalotta eventually get him down. Matt Ferguson was lurking. Good over the balls, Matt Ferguson. Doris now gets away from one. Turner's taking a bit of a hit. He looks a bit dizzy as George Turner. Might need a bit of treatment there. Joe McCarthy on the 22. Penalty here for Ireland. I'll tell you what, they were actually through. But they're stopping it over here because of Turner. So I'm not actually sure it was a penalty or they're stopping it because of the head injury to Turner. Yes, I think it is just stopping because of the head injury to Turner. It's the right call from Pearce. It didn't look good at all. He looked very groggy. He looked a bit dizzy. I think he's actually all right. I think we're going to have a check here from George Turner. But just initially, as he came back, it didn't look good at all. And you always want to err on the side of caution. Yeah, he's going to go for an HIA is George Turner. So on will come Ewan Ashman for the Scots. A very stern-looking Gregor Townsend up there. Never one for huge emotions, Gregor Townsend. And Turner here, I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like it's the shoulder to jaw there from Kalen Doris. Oh no, it's actually his opposite player. To be fair, Williamson comes around as he goes in for the tackle. He collides with George Turner. So that is where the collision comes as Turner goes off to receive his HIA. Ewan Ashman, the Canadian-born Scot, will go and be asked whether he remembers his house address and the likes of that. Lots of experience there in George Turner, 33 years old. Ewan Ashman, 8 years his junior, sporting the mullet and not a bad moustache. And back to the scrums we go. A little ref cam here, having a look at... it'd be actually nice to have a look at the scrum from this angle, to be honest, and sort of see exactly what Pierce is seeing when he makes his calls. Right on the far left-hand side, which means they've got their full width of the field. It's gone straight down. We're going to have a reset, yeah? We are going to have a reset. No penalty, anything just yet. Three scrums, not one competes is the word from Pierce, so won't be very happy with what he's seeing so far from both teams. They want to try and find a bit of a scrum battle at the moment. Looks a bit better, the scrum this time. Yeah, ball is used. Neither side getting ascendancy, but it's a solid scrum. Long pass out while Rob Balakoon is it not one forward? No, he runs off to the corner. Darcy Graham's going to cross it. Darcy Graham is going to find a great tackle. I don't think he's done. I think Rob Balakoon is over while he's been the find of the season for Ireland, really. And look what it means to the side as they completely flood him. Rob Balakoon had lots to do. Darcy Graham desperately getting across. He's not been able to get there, and Ireland get their third. Tupolotta's having a conversation. And they might yet have a look at this. Oh, I think the pass is fine. Yeah, the only thing I think he's going to say to them is, has Darcy Graham done enough? They might have to have a look. Oh, I tell you, he definitely catches it. So because of the way the grass is cut, McCloskey makes the pass at the end of one cut, and Rob Balakoon definitely catches it in the cut above, but I think they're saying it was backwards out the hand, so the try is going to stand. No issue with the covering tackle. Big kick this from Jack Crowley, and it'll sneak down the right-hand side, so 19 points to 7 it will remain. I'm surprised we didn't actually have a better look at that. I assume the TMO checked it in the background there. Very flat. I think it definitely drifts forward, but... as the ball can, if depending on the momentum. Also now, obviously, relying on how straight the groundsmen have cut the grass itself. They would have played a lot of rugby together, though, would have Stuart McCloskey and Rob Balakoon. All right, 19 points to 7. Scotland will need to be the next team. Oh, that's a big hit coming on Stuart McCloskey. They'll need to be the next team to score here if they're going to try and stay in this game. And no nonsense here from Gibson Park. Goes to the boot. Hanging in that sun. And it's been, I think, lost. No, backwards says the referee. But back to Scotland. Finn Russell sees a bit of space. Goes to the cross kick. Carl Steyn. Oh, I tell you. 3 players converging on it. Rob Balakoon had been turned. So 2 visits to the opposition, 22 from Scotland, 3 from Ireland, 19 from Ireland, 7 from Scotland. So Ireland averaging 6.3 points from their visits. I mean, Scotland, in fairness, are averaging 3.5, which is not bad. Good line this from Ireland. Not much momentum, though, so Gibson Park's going to go to the boot. And does. It's high in the air, but Balakoon will give chase. Carl Steyn will compete with him. Carl Staines taking it brilliantly. Hands above the head as well. Not an easy skill to pull off there. Back inside comes Matt Ferguson, the number 6 jersey today. Basically plays across that back row. Tupoloto though. Tupoloto almost getting past one. Doris has gone straight through. Ben White. Not too many options. And Russell's kick is charged down, but Blake King was managed to scramble well to get back to the ball. And now Darcy Graham goes to the short side. Hugh Jones wrapped up by Ty Byrne. Slow ball now as Ben White gets back to his feet. First carrier for Ashman. User please Scotland is the call from the referee, and he will Ben White will go to the boot. Darcy Graham will give chase. He's gone quite deep though. It's been just outside the 22, so it's well weighted from Ben White. No contest at the kickoff. I'll use it. So I like this from the referee, just really trying to speed up play. As soon as like ruck is formed and the ball goes down, the ball's available, the call for user to comes. Now that's a contestable. And it comes off of Blake King will be my guess. It is going to be an Ireland throw. Tommy O'Brien went up to compete. So it'll be an Ireland throw on the halfway line, almost exactly on the halfway line. And speaking of halfway, just over halfway in the half, 23 points at the moment. Right, going to in the poll over there. 55% reckoning Ireland going to win this clash. Took a bit of a rise after those couple of tries, and Tommy O'Brien's done brilliantly there, and Ireland have they have retained it. Joe McCarthy now in 2 minds, hit hard, but Ireland now on the front foot, half between the 10 meter and the 22. Dan Sheehan now, the try scorer, working hard. Gibson Park to the right side. Ty Furlong, one of the most experienced players on the pitch today. Gives the park to Crowley. Crowley fires it out to Josh van der Fleer, former World Player of the Year. Quick ball here. Crowley decides to go back inside. Tommy O'Brien running a good line, but well read from Max Williamson. Ball available for Gibson Park. Decides to go to the right-hand side. Caelan Doris slightly isolated. Support does arrive in the form of Gary Ringrose and Josh van der Fleer. But there is a contest on the ground. McCarthy pops it up short. Crowley goes to Jamie Osborne. Jamie Osborne got his hands through, but had nobody to pass to. Gibson Park to the left-hand side. Sit down, Darcy Graham, says Dan Sheehan. Back to the right-hand side. Ty Furlong. Big hits here. He spins off of Ashman. Brought down by Max Williamson. Big physicality on display at the moment as Gibson Park goes to the right side. Bukowski at first receiver. Josh van der Fleer pops it up. Crowley going around. Gary Ringrose not getting involved. Caelan Doris picks up and goes. Bounced off Pierce Kuhlman. Brought down by Grant Gilchrist. To the left-hand side this time. At first receiver, Jack Conan. Quick ball from Crowley. Was that no obstruction? Yes, it is, says the referee. Too many Irish bodies, not enough gaps to run through. And Scotland get a reprieve. But they're looking dangerous here, Ireland. Not hanging around here as Finn Russell gets the ball and he hammers it downfield. And he's not found touch in doing so. That's phenomenal work from Dan Sheehan, who's managed to keep it aside. Finn Russell gets there to drop his shoulder, doesn't quite make the tackle, makes the hit though. Ben White was there to make the tackle, but Ireland with possession. Silly that from Finn Russell. I like the fact that he wants to up the ante, but you got to make sure. Oh, it's a big tackle on Doris. It was kind of in 2 minds about whether he wanted to carry or pass. In fact, he was looking for the pass when he got hit. McCarthy this time. He's no doubt about that. He runs it straight and true. Finn Russell makes the tackle. Matt Ferguson has a hand in that ruck. Gets told to leave it. Gibson Park now waits to try and put it in the air. And Blake Kinghorn underneath it. Gets a bit of a run up. It takes it brilliantly to Blake Kinghorn. One of the best players in the world under the air, Blake Kinghorn. Gets it away to Ashman. Spins around. Brought down. Ball available for Ben White. Slow ball now for Ben White. Being told to use it. Gilchrist goes down the right-hand side. Makes a yard or two up to the 10-meter line. Safer ball this time here for Ben White, so he can shape for the boot. Darcy Graham will give chase here. Right, and he's off. Up against Tommy O'Brien. In fact, Jack Crowley on the run. Times it very well. Ball available for Gibson Park to the right-hand side. Josh van der Fleer. Big hit over there. Bounces off and then has a second go. And he wins it. He wins. Well, that's bizarre. He said no 7 and then said... then he got the turnover. There's a bit of bizarre refereeing that. I think, to be fair, I thought he had license to play that, so I was a bit confused when he eventually said no 7. But I think the referees actually pinged Ireland for going off their feet at the breakdown, which is obviously an infringement before he even gets involved, Ori Dodge. So I'm interested to see what the actual call here is. He's definitely not part of the tackle. Ball goes over. Yeah, over he goes. This time, Finn Russell makes no mistake. That's a very good kick as well. That's just short of the 5-meter line. Important moment here, Scotland. You hit back here with a converted try, and you get 5 points behind. Is Blake King going to go join the line out? It looks like he is, you know. I mean, to be fair, he's one of the tallest guys in the field, Blake Kinghorn. So he doesn't look out of place at all. Is he the lifter? He is! Blake Kinghorn has won a line out! And they spin around the corner. Straight down. And they have stolen it, have Ireland. Well, that's a disaster. I mean, it looked cool, but it's not gone. They're not very happy with it, Scotland. Knock-on is the call here from Ireland. And I think Tupelotta will be straight to the referee here. They weren't happy about something. But Blake Kinghorn, even Gregor Townsend's got his hands on his head. It's sat to the call. Tom O'Toole gets over it. I'm not entirely sure why it's a scrum here. We have a substitution here from the looks of it. Tupelotta asking the question, saying he was sitting the and Tupelotta saying, you don't think it was dangerous, he was sitting in the air afterward, and then Luke Pierce saying, I didn't see it as dangerous. Asking the right questions of Tupelotta. Turning into a very good captain, actually. And even then, he asked the question, then said, okay, no, it's fine, whatever. I'm not going to harp on it. Which is good. You can't get hung up on decisions. You can ask the question, you can feel aggrieved, but then if as soon as it doesn't go your way, you then got to reset and then focus on what's to come, which is a scrum. So my next poll is going to be, who do you want to win the Six Nations? Scotland, Ireland, or France? Your 3 candidates. Go and vote on that poll over there. Uses the call. They got a pot to the left to Ireland, but Gibson Park body shaping to a kick. Does kick. And will find touch. Looks like we've got a pretty big Irish contingent in the comments based on that poll. Please also just make sure you smash like on the video, people. Well over 400 people watching. Less than 40 likes. I mean, not even 1 in 10 of you people have been good enough to like the stream at the moment. It is 18 points for Ireland, 16 points for France, 16 points for Scotland. As things stand, as we approach the half-hour mark, Ashman. Not the best throw down. Ben White makes it work for Russell. Pass out Tupelotta. Barrages over Jack Crowley. Good carry from him. Quick ball here from Ben White. And little chip over the top from Finn Russell. It's a very intelligent chip. Lots of Scottish players arriving. Oh, he's made a bit of a mess of that as Tommy O'Brien's actually standing up kicking in touch. Which is probably not the worst result, to be honest. Great little chip ahead. And there were 3 Scottish players converging. And the bounce of the ball just kind of getting Tommy O'Brien off guard. So it'll be a Scotland line inside the 22. Now, this is where we talk about the fact that Ireland have had basically 6.3 points per into entry. Scotland now will be down to about, 1, maybe 2, because they've had a couple in the last few minutes. The question is, can they make this one count? Well, they complete the line out. This time, no fancy move. They just go into an orthodox maul. But not getting any go-forward ball at this stage. Down about Scotland, but the ball is available for Ben White. Goes to Tupelotta. Tupelotta with Hugh Jones. And Ben White had to then steal that, secure that ball. Xander Ferguson picks up and goes. And penalised for rolling, says the referee. I think that's a bit harsh. I think the way he basically fell, I don't think he had much choice to try and make the ball available. Gets over. Yeah, actually, I think it's fair. Ty Burn was trying to get a go. And again, that's Scotland not being able to make that 20-meter entry count as Ireland go pretty deep there from Jack Crowley. Makes it, it's a good clearance. So a couple of small wins, and now we're seeing Gregor Townsend looking a little bit more concerned. I think this game is defined by the next team to score. I think if Ireland score, I think that becomes too big of a mountain to climb for Scotland. I think if Scotland score, then it's very much game on. Straight down from the Ireland to Gibson Park, passes to Crowley. Crowley to McCloskey in the midfield. Kellen Doris fighting in the midfield. Out to the 10-meter line. Gives the pass to the left-hand side. Goes short as Crowley to Rob Badekun, the try scorer. 8 minutes left in the half. Back to Jack Conan this time. Crowley now sees a bit of space in behind. Puts in the kick. It's a bit of an arbitrary one. Bounces favorably for Blake Kinghorn. Steps inside of one as Blake Kinghorn. Gets away from still going as Blake Kinghorn. On the third attempt, Joe McCarthy does manage to bring him down. Now to the right-hand side. Xander Ferguson. And they go short to Max Williamson. Always falling, says Luke Pearce. Goes to the boot now as Ben White. Carl Steyn will give chase up against Tommy O'Brien. Carl Steyn comes off of Tommy O'Brien back to the hands of Ben White. Long pass outward towards Finn Russell. Finn Russell seeing a bit of space to the right-hand side. Drifting to the right. Not much better. Actual one space bounces favorably to Darcy Graham. Gets it up towards Finn Russell. Backwards says the referee. Big counter coming here from Ireland, but Scotland eventually do scramble. Get the ball away to Pierce Skuman. Just absorbs the hit. Does well as Pierce Skuman. He's become such a reliable player for Scotland. Just offers you that standard 7 out of 10 every week. To Finn Russell. To Pilato. Hugh Jones. One pass out wide. Is that forward? It is forward. That's rushed. That's silly. That's poor from Scotland. And that's the problem. That's just the pressure from Ireland there. Not much thought. Dent's trying to just get the ball to the right-hand side too quickly. Ken Healy in the crowd, watching his former side have a go. Right, 6 minutes left on the clock. Scrum's gone down. Uses the call, says Luke Pearce. Gibson White fires out to... they lost it behind. Darcy kicks it ahead. Now the race is on. Blake King was after. Badekun will win it. No, he won't. But he's just slipped as Blake King, which allows Josh van der Flair to get back and get on the ball. Oh, the bounce of the rugby ball. This time favouring Ireland. And all the way back on the 22 metres. Gibson Park needs... Rucker and Joe McCarthy will set it up for him. Now available for Gibson Park. Will he go back to Jack Crowley? Will go himself. He gets the block. He'll go to himself. Takes a couple of steps. He has got the safety of the 22. Will find touch. Scotland desperate to try and find something before half-time. Ireland, I think at the moment they take the score at half-time. Yeah, if he doesn't slip, it would have been interesting from Blake Kinghorn. I mean, Real Blake Kinghorn got there ahead of him, but just managed to sort of throw his toe out, did Blake Kinghorn, and get the ball away from him, but then slipping in the process, which then allowed Josh from Flair to get back, and eventually Ireland managing to scramble and find touch. John McCarthy down and receiving a bit of treatment. He's been big for Ireland so far in this half. Right, Scotland with the line on the 10-meter line inside Ireland territory. You go to the front, and there's a contest, and the ball runs awkwardly. It gets back into Tyke Furlong, and then not forward by, in fact, penalty. Delivered knockdown, says the referee. Yeah, silly that from Grant Kilkers, really. So Ireland now, maybe they'll actually have the last save here. I think if Ireland score before half time, I think that becomes almost it. I think a 19-7 Scotland can still come back. I think if we suddenly get to 24-26-7 at half time, that's a very, very big margin to climb. And McCloskey's finding room as he gets up towards the 22, fighting hard with the ball. McCarthy, lots of space to the left-hand side. He goes. Ball available for Gibson Park. The tool pops it up to Doris. Doris just sits down as Xander Ferguson. Eventually driven back. Bit of fisticuffs in the background. Good hit that on a tool. Gibson Park to the right-hand side. Back to Crowley. Crowley puts it down in the head. He will find touch. Not the worst touch finder that is, actually. Just inside the 22. Just pushing Scotland back. Just over 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Very, very good time just to play a bit of territory game here, to be honest. Stuart McCloskey, 8 carries, 40 meters gained, 5 defenders beaten. He's playing somebody that probably the best rugby of his career at the moment, Stuart McCloskey. And this isn't good for Scotland because Ashman's getting some treatment and he's already on for George Turner. He was off for an HIA. So they've got to try and somehow get Ashman through this half because they can't afford to lose their reserve hooker. I mean, that could suddenly mean uncontested scrums, for example. That could suddenly mean issues with the line. He is going to be able to continue here. Over the top goes Ashman. Interesting how to call after he's just been down injured. Ben White goes to the boot. Carlstein will give chase. Battlecune underneath it. Takes it well. Carlstein wraps him up, looking to try and bundle him out. They've managed to somehow keep him in of Ireland. Ball available for Gibson Park. Slow ball, though. No, it's been knocked on the process. So, last opportunity here for Scotland with just under 2 minutes left on the clock. That's right. Westerman on the clock. Can Scotland finish in a bit of a flurry? I think Scotland score here, going with 14-19 with some momentum. Then this game's alive. They get a free kick. Here we go. Ben White to the right side. Finn Russell. Hugh Jones pops it up short to nobody, and Chipolotto knocks it on, and that's the no-look pass. No-look pass. And that's poor from Scotland. And Tupolotto, yeah, I mean, they're usually on such a good... he just pops it over here, and Tupolotto is not quite there. They're usually on such a wavelength. I mean, that's why they've got the combination name Tupolotto. But as the pop comes, Tupolotto's just nowhere near the ball, and it goes down. He can't quite gather it. So this time will be an Ireland scrum. I personally think Ireland at the moment will be quite happy just to almost put this out. They'll have a go. But I think they'll be very happy to go to 19 points to 7 up. To the left-hand side, they go. Huklowski, almost a bit of a juggle. Crowley goes short to Osborne. We're going into extra time here. Tackle release the call. Gibson Park gets it away. Oh, and loses it forward. Right, half-time will indeed be 19 points to 7. Referee has called it. So, all to play for in the second half. Ireland very much the better team. Scotland had a good try. Have struggled since then. But we know, as we saw against France, that when they turn up and they turn on, they can take apart most teams. So, for Ireland, I think their big thing will be to try and make sure they try and get the first points in the second half. For Scotland, they'll be desperate to try and start the second half a lot better than they started the first. All to play for in the break. We'll be back very, very shortly. Please don't go away. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you in just a few.
We play this kind of games.
There are new faces and changing within the squad. Also, given your captaincy and role of number 9, does that bring extra responsibilities?
I already have had this kind of role in the team. I had to be a leader, and I think I'm well surrounded in the team by other experienced players who helped me a lot. So it's just an honor.
We were used to see
7 years, so I think we'll have to try this connection for the first game because it will come very soon, very soon.
Thank you very much, Antoine. All the best for this edition. The first team to face
Competition, the way you start sets you up well or not so well, depending how it goes. So it's going to be a big focus on a proper performance to start us off. We're off to Portugal later on today. We've a nice training camp there, and then transfer across to Paris early next week. So yeah, it's a short turnaround, not a whole lot of time, but it sharpens the mind definitely, and it's one to get excited about. It's always a privilege, as Jamie was saying. You can never take it for granted, especially being in the roles that we are in as leaders. It's such a special tournament. It's towards the pinnacle of the game, and yeah, it's always an exciting time of year.
Thank you very much, Phil. I mean, everybody's waiting for that. How has the Six Nations contributed to the sports growth in general?
Well, a lot. I think it's for sure the main event that has been followed for the last 20-25 years in rugby. I mean, you mentioned like the stadium in Rome. You know, to have a couple of sold outs, it's pretty much amazing. You know, having a lot of crowd coming in there and cheering for us. A couple of times in the last couple of years. Obviously, consistency of performances is something we were really looking forward to. Like we've seen, when we are at our best, we can actually like compete against anyone. But at the same time, you know, to be able like a bigger picture for our team. Generally, obviously, very young team, so a lot to grow and to improve on. But at the same time, you know, we want to get to that consistency part where we can really step onto the pitch and know that we are gonna face a big challenge with our like strength.
Ultimately, what we go on the pitch to do, I think, you know, new coaching staff and new squad coming together has been, you know, a nice fresh start for us. Steve's brought a lot of that first game up against England. Is going to be massive for us to go and test ourselves against the best, and like Caelan said, that momentum in this tournament is huge. So yeah, anything we can get from there, then you just carry on into the next.
that game to come again.
Yeah, 100%. I think like there's a lot going on in Welsh rugby at the minute, but I think that's something that can really take your mind off things.
Game against Italy, which has been a problematic game for us, to be fair, over the last couple of years, and especially over there in Rome. And I think the progression that Italian team has made, I don't think we can think about England yet at all. And I think especially with the new format, with the 3 games on the bounce, I think the more we can take it one game at a time and earn another week together and get the ball rolling. Like we say, momentum's such an important part of this competition, and I think it'd be foolish of me to start thinking about England before taking on Rome and Italy.
And that's going to resonate with my last.
Not achieved yet, but that is the goal heading into every tournament, is to touch the trophy, and I'd like to think that is our ambition. But like I said before, our main focus is.
Well.
I left in North with the ones
Sorry, these people go away.
second to the left, sure.
Gonzalo. You want to give it a little bit? Okay, everyone down to B. So you'll forget. Good. All right. That's fine.
Just for proof that we're doing
What
something.
smiles are? That's it. Okay, lovely, yeah.
Ellie, can you come in?
To 3, yeah.
think you could tell us the player's going to... Yeah, no problem.
Because we need to move back for the flash.
Yeah, so you're fighting there. I was just going to say stand up. Right.
Sorry, the door's open, Billy.
I thought we'd get like if we were to get the shot, but then Donny's through the issues, you know?
We're not doing it.
Yeah, that's more. That's more. It's like
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 6 nations and maybe the...
And then next we go into the big group shot.
Thanks.
Greatest one, so where's the Billy, do you want that palm with the ball?
The greatness one. You've got the job. You've got the job. No.
Okay, guys, straight down to Billy, please.
Okay, all swans, everybody come up. That's nice, yeah.
Serious. Get a serious one.
Okay, just again, sorry, Caleb. Caleb.
Straight down, just go serious for this one, guys, please. Nice and serious, everyone. That's it, nice and serious.
Caleb, can you turn a little bit out? No, the other way. Can you turn a little bit? That's good.
That's good.
Okay,
Okay, hold on there, guys. Guys, straight in here. Okay, guys, straight to Billy for me, please. Nice and serious. Yeah. Okay.
Right, we're back for the second half, and it's do or die, really, for Scotland if they are to have a chance of winning the Six Nations, and a knock-on like that is not going to help their cause. You really do feel that the next score is the game. You know, I think the next try will probably decide this result. If Ireland score, I think it becomes too much for Scotland. If Scotland score, then the game, you know, really could go either way. But the big thing for Scotland is to start well. As the thing stands, Ireland got 18 points. France on 16. France will play England later, which means a France win would be enough. France win, you know, will be enough regardless if Scotland don't win. If Scotland win with a bonus point, for example, then France will need to match that kind of energy. But if Ireland win, then France will know that all they need out of the England game is 4 points, and they'll walk away as Six Nations champions. And I'll be very surprised if England were to beat France, but it's been a weird Six Nations, so maybe there is that chance. People, I'm going to put a poll up saying, how does this game end? And I want you guys to go vote on that. I want you to smash like on the video as Ireland do attack from deep, and Osborne brought down by Hugh Jones. Quick ball from Gibson Park, seeing a bit of space, and knocked forward by Caelan Doris. Turnover ball here for Scotland now, as Rory Dodge comes away with it. And McCloskey's going to give away a penalty. That's silly from him. And the poll is going to be who will win this clash. Or can Scotland come back to win? Simple yes or no. We've got a lot of Irish fans in the chat, so wouldn't be surprised if it is a resounding no, but you never know. Maybe the neutrals. I mean, I personally would love to see a Scotland win, yeah. I think that obviously Ireland have been so good in the last past years. I'd really like to see Scotland have their time, and it would be really cool to see. And imagine England beating France to hand Scotland the Six Nations. Oh, a lot of irony and fun little mini. What's the word I'm looking for? Many stories basically in there. Finn Russell goes to Tupeloto. Now he runs it hard and straight. We see more of that in the second half from Tupeloto. Narrative, that's what they're really doing. Oh, that's been left behind by goal kills, but Ben White has done pretty well. But Joe McCarthy's all over them, and a bit of pressure coming out from Ireland, but Scotland do manage to scramble. And that's kind of the accuracy that we saw not good enough in the first half from Scotland. Just a couple of things like when Finn Russell was caught on the ball, they've been caught on the ball, Ty Byrne getting his hand over the ball, referee eventually telling him to leave it. And they go short to Skuman. Skuman standing starts, shifts out of the way of Joe McCarthy, but doesn't make too many meters. Ben White now goes to the boot, and Darcy Graham will give chase. And it gets back from Darcy Graham, back into the hands of Dodge. Good work there. In fact, Matt Ferguson's over there. Now, I don't know if they've fallen on the wrong side of the ruck there, but no penalty. Xander Ferguson pops it up to Blake Kinghorn. Long pass out towards Finn Russell. Now, the numbers are here for Scotland. Tubelotta comes back inside. Gets away from one. Eventually brought down on the halfway line here. Scotland to the right-hand side. Arriving is Matt Ferguson. Spins in the tackle well. Ball available for Ben White. Goes short. Ashman staying on here. No sign of George Turner coming back on. Finn Russell now on the run. Blake Kinghorn takes the contact. Does Jack Dempsey pick up and go from Darcy Graham? Over arm. A ball available for Scotland. Pick up and go from Dodge. Almost risk going up too high. Now Matt Ferguson. It's been busy this afternoon, has Matt Ferguson. Long pass out wide. Tubelotta steps in the inside. Good tackle that came from Dan Sheehan. Ball available for Ben White. Ben White looking for himself. Ben White almost going himself. Up towards 22. Finn Russell securing the ball of all people. Pick up and go from Xander Ferguson. Not much support. And Ty Byrne will have no issue sealing that ball whatsoever. As soon as you Ty Byrne and nobody arriving at the ruck, there's only one real conclusion, and that is a turnover, which is indeed as Gibson Park now directs his traffic, looking for the ruck so that he can find his clearance. Goes short to Joe McCarthy. Joe McCarthy basically just waits for the contact. Steps away from Grant Gilchrist, but eventually brought down inside the 22-yard island. They've got the safety of the 22. And to the right-hand side goes Gibson Park. It's a great kick towards the halfway line. And once again, a Scotland attack leads to nothing. There's a lot of attacking from Scotland, not much success, which will worry Gregor Townsend. McCarthy with the chop tackle. No real cleaners around. Means everything to the fans. 4 turnovers, 1 from Ireland, and just the 1 from Scotland. Breakdown. How often do we see teams that win the game winning the breakdown battle? A combination of ball retention, for example, and them being able to steal opposition ball. Ashman, another messy line. Scotland line has been really poor today, to be honest. Ben White once again having to clean up, managed to pop that ball back towards Carl Steyn. Carl Steyn does pretty well, and he's got some support around him. Slow ball this now for Ben White. Ashman, it's just absolutely suffocating them at the moment, our island. He's going to have to go to the boot. Carl Steyn ready to chase, as is Tubelotta. Carl Steyn sets off after Balakoon. And once again, wraps him up. Looking to try to hold him up, but doesn't quite succeed. But playing in the right areas with Scotland, but the only thing, pinning Ireland back. Good tackle that from Pierce Skuman on Josh van der Fleer. Stopping him in his tracks. Gibson Park now being told to use it. Goes to the air. Balakoon is around, and he's almost given up on that, but it actually ends up falling to Blake Kinghorn. Finn Russell now, but a space actually for Darcy Graham. Darcy Graham steps away. Darcy Graham steps underneath. Still goes Darcy Graham. This is where he can be so dangerous. Still going as Darcy Graham. Eventually brought down. Beating at least 3 or 4 defenders in that Ben White now slow ball. Up quickly with Ireland. Maybe offside. Notices the referee. Ben White goes short. Dempsey. Kinghorn. Hugh Jones. Stepping away from one. Ashman managed to just keep himself upright until the support arrives. Ben White flings it to Finn Russell. Finn Russell, long pass out wide towards Darcy Graham. Darcy Graham with the feet-footed. Eventually brought down by Dan Sheehan. And no advantage to go back for a penalty for Scotland. Yeah, so it's Caelan Doris, high tackle on Ashman. None of you had to have danger, so no cards or anything, just a tackle. But Scotland will be able to kick to the corner here. Or they're going to have a look at this potentially. Yeah, penalty only, says the TMO. And the warning there from Kalen Dawes. Let's have a look at this. Is it just a penalty? Can't see anything from that angle. Not too many penalties from either team so far. Just 5 from Ireland, 4 from Scotland. So it hasn't made too many big calls so far. Well, they get the ball back from the line. That's the main thing. Tupolotto steps back inside. Pick up and go, Ben White. Dodge gets involved. 10 meters out. Scotland have to make this count. They've got a penalty advantage as well. So if we roll the dice, really, Xander Ferguson wants it. Matt Ferguson gets it. Dodge. Backline setting up to the left-hand side. Tyburn over it and gets the steal, but they go back for the penalty. I think this will be an official warning coming from Luke Pearce to Blooded, I think, there. So it looks like Ty Burns has got a cut. 12 side is the call. So decision time here. Surely we go to the corner here. There's no point looking at threes and the likes of that. You've got to get yourself to 19 points to 14. Conversation with Finn Russell, Hugh Jones, and Blair Kinghorn. Well, it's a big moment here, Iron. So Ty Burns going to have to go off. Looks like he's going to need a couple of stitches here. So I'll have to make a replacement. My money will be on Nick Timoney coming on. If not Derek Murray, potentially. It is Derek Murray. Now take a tap and go here. I was Scotland there. I was about 7 or 8 meters out, right in front of the poles. Pick up and go on Ashman. What's the set move here? Around the corner goes Williamson. Just 2 meters out here, Scotland. Ben White sucked in. It wasn't quite according to plan. They would have liked to have used it already. Skuman. The entire backline to the left in a very short space of... There's another carry that's come from Ashman once again. Does the backline reset to the right-hand side? No, they're staying short side. Williamson, they're back to 5 meters out. And Scotland just absolutely loading that blind side. Now starting to shift. Where's that ball? Yeah, eventually it appears for Ben White. Xander Ferguson. Ashman, that's a nice carry from him. He makes a yard or two. Tupolotto. McCloskey's up to the challenge. Grant Gilchrist. Just trying to get over the gain line here, Scotland. So I keep saying the forward pack's often what lets them down. Ashman, though, he's been good since coming on. Big carry from him. But a big hit on him as well. So resolute Irish defense so far. Pick up and go. Darsh makes a good dart. Lots of Scottish bodies on the floor. Got to pick themselves up and get themselves ready. Gilchrist once again. But once again, no real meters made. Now Russell. Russell shows it goes. Russell goes himself. Russell over. Big celebration in the Scottish box. Gregor Townsend's keeping himself nice and calm. But Finn Russell says, you know what? I'll just do it myself. 94 caps for Finn Russell. Set to become a test match centurion this year. And it's quick ball, and he's running. He's got options, and eventually just goes himself. And the problem with Finn Russell is you expect him to make the pass. You expect him to offload. You got Kinghorn, and he had Darcy Graham. Just goes himself. Shear's trying to get across. Gibson Park commits to the outside defender. And that's a big moment because there's a lot of pressure coming from Scotland. And if they felt like they hadn't scored there, you know, then it becomes really difficult to get yourself up once again and go again. Yeah, no issue that from Finn Russell. He turned immediately 14 points to 19. 5 points the difference. 27 minutes to play. It's a really good kick that from, and they've let it bounce of Ireland. So it's a good clearance there from Scotland. Now it's a big carry in the midfield there from Caelan Doris. Ireland looking to try and hit back. Scotland can't afford to do. Tommy O'Brien runs into the ball, gets up towards the 22-meter. Gives it Park. McCarthy, he looked for the pass outside. There's nobody outside him, so if you fall for that dummy, then you deserve to be shot in the spot. But Scotland now have to try really, really focus, make sure they don't concede, because they've got a bit of momentum. They concede now and they lose all of that. Quick ball from Gibson Park. Space out here. Lots of numbers. And a bit of an overlap to the left-hand side goes Ringrose. Good tackle there from Darcy Graham. But making progress here on Ireland. To the right-hand side. This time Dan Sheehan. O'Brien. Caelan Doris. Gibson Park goes to the right-hand side. Ireland on the doorstep. Scotland can't afford to concede, but it's going to look a bit of inevitable. Gibson Park goes himself. Wrong option. Ball available, though. McCarthy. Pick up and go. Just short. Desperate this from Scotland. Caelan Doris takes a dive, and he's over, I think. He is indeed disaster for Scotland. And look at the body language. The body language says it all, really. Scotland absolutely heartbroken and defeated by that, because that's exactly what they couldn't afford to do. They finally took them about, how many? It's close on 40-odd minutes to eventually score their second try. And within 3-4 minutes, they conceded again. So all that work, all that effort for nothing, really, now. And that's what they'll feel. Right, Crowley should have no issue with this whatsoever, and doesn't. So extends at 26 points to 14. It's a big moment in the game. It's a huge moment in the game, this. Yeah, over he goes. No issue there. They didn't really have a check. Well, I'm assuming the TMO had a check in the background. They didn't really need to. Don't think there was much doubt in that, in fairness. Caelan Doris now back with the ball in hand, and he runs into Grant Gilchrist. Ball over the top, and comes backwards off Kyle Stain into the hands eventually of Matt of Jack Dempsey. Hands off Biali Kuhn, has another go up towards the halfway line. Tupolotto. To the middle goes Tupolotto. Pops up, and Finn Russell, that is going to be a knock-on advantage. Blake King was going all the way to the back. They will play advantage. Darcy Graham running a good line. Makes a good tackle as Tommy O'Brien. Ball available for Ben White. That should be advantage over. Still advantage to the referee. I think it's penalty advantage there. Long pass out wide. That's flat towards Carstein with a bit of space. Carstein gets away from Balakoon. Carstein. Oh, should he have gone inside to Ben White? Probably, but ball back towards Matt. So Darger runs it straight. Into the 22 goes Scotland. Matt Ferguson now. Good take that from him. Ball available. Can Scotland respond immediately? Finn Russell, long pass out wide to Hughes Jones. Steps to inside. Sees a bit of space. Gets the ball away to Finn Russell. Finn Russell goes to Blake Kinghorn. Blake Kinghorn throws it behind. And Darcy Graham's going to have to go and pick it up. Darcy Graham from a standing start. Darcy Graham steps away from Tommy O'Brien. Makes a half tackle. Into the 22 goes Scotland. Pierce Schumann arriving now. Oh, it's a big hit from Tommy O'Toole. Long pass out wide though. Ashburn. Finn Russell. Straight now goes Dodge. Good this from Scotland. Ben White. Hugh Jones. Carstein. Carstein steps back inside. Not much space for him to work with. Chop tackle on him. Ben White. Xander Ferguson. Always a William ball carrier on the just inside the 22. No advantage or anything. 21 minutes left on the clock. Irish fans getting behind them. I think it's a pretty big Scottish chorus as well. Short. Nice carry there from Ian Ashman. He's made a difference since coming on. He's over the ball though, but not on the ball. Says the referee. Ben White. Williamson. Shows and goes. Gets through a half gap. Makes a yard or two. White. Short and Blake Kinghorn almost through from Finn Russell. Ben White. Dempsey. It's relentless from Scotland, but it's, oh, there's the hands, and then he goes straight through. Does Rory Dodge? They had the numbers, and he slams it down and says to his team, come on, we're still in this. It's a bit like the first half, when as soon as Ireland scored, Scotland hit straight back. The problem is that they've got lots to chase. It's the initial break from Carstein that makes all of it. He's been so good in the Six Nations. And that'll give them a bit of hope. A bit of hope. You know what the thing is? They've got, we saw it against France, they've got the ability to score points quickly. But they just can't concede like they did against France. That's also the big problem, you know. They can score, but they have to be able to score without conceding too many. And he says, let's go. I mean, I tell you what. This has been a cracker. Regardless of what the final result, two teams desperate to give themselves a sniff. This is the thing. They're not even playing for a guaranteed Six Nations Championship. This is for a sniff of it. 21 points to 6. 5 points in it. Finn Russell's been flawless off the team. Off is Darcy Graham. That's a big call. He's been very good. Williamson off. Ben White off. Big calls being made now by Gregor Townsend. He's looking for the bench to provide an impact. Tyke Byrne back on the park for Ireland. That's a big boost for them. Is that too much? No. Oh, they've made a hash of that. Those Hugh Jones knocked it forward, knock on advantage. Ireland immediately, and you can't have mistakes like that. Ireland immediately with ball back in hand. Caelan Doris to the right-hand side. Carstein slips the tackle. Dodge trying to get over it. Dodge is over it. Referee tells him to leave it. Gives the puck, fires it out wide. Ringrose. And they have turned it over. That's... Well, it's a big turnover, that, for Scotland. Right, scrum Scotland inside the 22. Tupolotu. Pierce Kuhlman now, pick up and go. Right, hatch forward. And deep from Balakoon. Right to the right hand side. But on the halfway line, yeah, this is where they need turnovers. Big counter coming from Scotland, but it's ball available for Gibson Park on the halfway line. And goes to the edge as Gibson Park. Tommy O'Brien will give chase. He gets it back, but it's running towards the touchline and will be a Scotland throw. Not the worst result that for Scotland. Blake Kinghorn out-jumped. So Ireland have not really used their bench. Dick Timoney is on, but that's it. Where Scotland deployed 4 players at the same time in the 61st minute. So Alex Craig, and out comes the rest. So here comes a couple of changes for Ireland. So Alex Craig, Bradbury, George Horn, and Kyle Rowe all on for Scotland. And here comes Michael Milne, Ronan Kelleher. And it's Finlay Beanham as well. So brand new front row here for Ireland. Ooh, it's a good take. Almost a good take, but I think he lost his forward row. So ball back towards Ireland. Gibson Park fires to the right-hand side. Crowley. McCloskey ball over the top, and they have to shift here. And on Bandiaki is Carl Sten's a great tackle on Bandiaki. Gets back to his feet. Referee judge not to say that he wasn't held. Kelleher. This game's on a knife edge. A converted try gives Scotland the lead. McCloskey. Looking to try and hold him up. Release now is the call from the referee. Through the middle, says the referee, and uses it as Gibson Park. So almost got a good counter-back coming from Scotland. Beelum. Goes up and takes it well. That's in the air, says Kinghorn. The referee disagrees, though. George Horn uses it, and Pierce Kuhlman. I tell you, I think I'm feeling a bit grieved there. I think he was in the air. Referee said that obviously judged him to his foot to have hit the ground by the time the collision came. And Horn's kick is chased down, but he gathers it up, this George Horn, and gets away to Finn Russell. Finn Russell sends it on the right side. Won't find touch, though. And there's Doak. What a play. He's been, what a bit of a find in terms of play they can play on the wing and at scrum off. Gives it Park to the right-hand side. Big moment this year for Ireland on the attack. Crowley. McCloskey. Tubolotto. He slips the tackle, but Finn Russell completes it. Need to remain disciplined here as well, because Ireland get a penalty here. Could very well just take the 3. Bandiaki almost making a half break. And oh no, it's Tommy O'Brien in the middle, and that could be it for Ireland. O'Brien once again crosses the line. 31 points to 21. And the Scottish defence was holding strong, and then it's been cut through, knife through hard butter stuff that from Tommy O'Brien. The angle being run was phenomenal. And it's just the pressure, the consistent pressure. The half break from Bandiaki, and then the quick ball coming from Gibson Park. Crowley sets him up, and he goes straight through, and Carl Steyn makes the tackle on Doak, but that creates the space for Tommy O'Brien to come straight through and score. And that could be Scotland's Six Nations hopes slipping through their fingers. And Ireland, oh, they dare to dream. It's been by far not been their best Six Nations. And yet, an England win later could see them crowned champions. A loss to France at the beginning of the tournament had people questioning. Since then, though, they responded very, very well. Maybe not their best against Italy. Maybe not their best against Ireland. They were prolific against England. But at the end of the day, you know, it's about when you peak and when you sort of get the results when they matter. And that's what they're doing at the moment. Now they're going to have to, Scotland are going to have to try and find something. They're going to have to find 2 quick tries here. They've got 11 minutes. They need to score in the next 5-6. Here's Carlo. That's actually Tom Jordan onto the park. George Horn. Magnus Bradbury fighting hard. That's a nice big carry coming from Bradbury. $33 points to 21 currently. Scotland, 2 converted tries, wins them and gives them a chance at the Six Nations title. Would also give them a bonus point. Crowley taken out in the air by Carl Steyn. Carl Steyn apologizes, just getting his timing wrong. Can't afford mistakes like that. Yeah, immediately up to apologize was Carl Steyn. Huge celebration that from Andy Farrell just for the penalty, because he knows how important that is. To the corner they go. I think if they get anything in kickable range, they'll take the 3 points. On the 22, what Scotland needs here is a miracle. An instep try or something along those lines. It's a good line at that. Jack Coney goes up. Jack Coney comes down with it. Looking for the rolling Moya. Controlling it at the back here is Ronan Kelleher. Gibson Park now. to the left-hand side. McCloskey goes short to Bandiaki. Darren Murray. Now Gibson Park. Oof, take that from Finney Bean and Gibson Park looking to try and clean up Gibson Park. Brought down by Blair Kinghorn. Ireland on the front foot. Ireland score here, and that would probably be game, set, and match. Penalty advantage. That could be game, set, and match as well, because that would be 3 points for Ireland. A free roll of the dice. Back in Crowley shape for the drop goal, and then just drops it. But they'll take the 3 here. Well, and I don't see why they wouldn't. 36 points, 21. That's too much for Scotland with 8 minutes to go. That's probably the game. Yeah, they are taking the 3 indeed. Yeah, no issue there from Jack Crowley. The flags are raised, and bar a small miracle, that will be Scotland's Six Nations dream done. Ireland, well, they'll now be rooting for England. Imagine that. Penalty. Well, there's a penalty for Scotland. That always helps. And Russell put into the corner. But they got to basically score, convert it, which puts them at 28. Score, convert it at 35, and still have time for a kickoff. I mean, you're really asking for miracles at that point. Right, Gilchrist. The Triple Crown at stake as well, but I think, to be honest, I think they'll only be thinking of the Six Nations right now. I mean, that Triple Crown will be phenomenal for Ireland. They wouldn't have they wouldn't have thought about that at the beginning of the season, I don't think. But rolling Moore's looking good. Where's the ball? There's a lot of Irish players. No one's rolling. This could be turnover ball. Ball's available, says the referee. They've done well there. Dodge. They need something, and they need quickly. They can't afford to take this kind of time to try and get these points within 5 minutes. It's taking too long here from Scotland, really. They might get a try here, but there's just no time left. You'd have to score basically immediately off kickoff at this rate. And Ireland, every time they make a tackle, every time they just pause things for a few seconds, that's one step closer to getting this win. Still nothing yet from Scotland. Still having a go at the defence. Ireland standing strong. Now to the right-hand side goes Finn Russell looking for his brace. Not to be. Horn goes himself. Also not to be. Finn Russell now at scrum off. Ty Byrne lurking where he's so dangerous. And get the penalty. That'll be it from Scotland. Or for Ireland. Well, for both, really. A turnover at the most crucial time. There's still just over 3.5 minutes left. But with the deficit where it is, there's just not enough time anymore. And look at the heartbreak from the Scottish fans. I mean, to be fair, I think from Scotland, I don't know how much solace they can take from this. You know, this is probably their chance. This was probably their chance to try and win the Six Nations, you know, to beat France in the fashion they did, to beat England. And I mean, to beat Ireland was always going to be one. And again, they lost to Italy, which in hindsight, you look at it now, maybe not as shocking as initially, but it really was a game that they had to win. And had they won it, they'd have been in this would have been a formality, really, in terms of any points would have been a bonus. But in terms of winning the Six Nations, it would have been down to what England would have done later. They also wouldn't have necessarily had to chase the game as hard. I mean, you think if they had got a bonus point against Italy, they'd be sitting currently on 21 points. All they would have had to have done this afternoon would have been gotten a point for being within 7 or scored 4 tries. Which is quite a bit of a different situation, really. Murray and Doris in the middle, and the Iron fans' songs echo throughout the Aviva. It's not been their best Six Nations campaign. They have dropped. It won't be a grand slam if they were to win it. It's not even in their hands. They'll need a favour from England later. But they've given themselves a chance. They weren't maybe massively convincing against Italy, but they got the job done. That's the difference. They weren't convincing, but they got the job done. Scotland didn't get the job done. Even against Wales, I don't think Ireland were at their best, but they got the job done. And I think what we're seeing at the moment is the value in making sure you get over the line versus kind of performance. Because Scotland, while they've gotten some great results, they've played really well at times, but you can't lose that. You drop that game to Italy if you want to win, especially in the fashion in which they did lose. So it'll be a fun and a very stressful night in Dublin. The Scottish fans, well, they can go drown their sorrows. The Irish fans, well, they're gonna have to. They've got a bit of a marathon ahead of them. They're gonna have to try and stay awake for the next few hours. It's Italy versus Wales up next, followed by that England-France game a lot later. So it's a big night ahead in Dublin. Oh, no, and then knocked on by Tupolotto. Oh, Ireland are going to have a breakaway score. Tupolotto needs to try, gets across to try and make amends. He's not going to be able to do it. It's going to be a runaway game in the end by Ireland. It's going to look a lot more dominant than it probably was. But Ireland have been the better side, and they're going to get very, very... They're going to be very deserved winners of this. Tupolotto, the captain, making that mistake. Can't make a mistake like that, really. And Helen saying, Jameson bottle is ready. Waterford whiskey glass for the celebration drink. England must now beat France. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be a long evening ahead. But the Jameson will keep you company, and many an Irish fan knows how to keep going into the long night. A nice moment there from Finn Russell. Went straight to Tupolotto to console, and Tupolotto will be heartbroken. He's better than that. And Crowley will bring that in. It'll be 43 points, 21 in the end. They're having a conversation on Scotland. Carl Stay barking out orders, probably just saying that, you know, this needs to be the start of something. That they've shown that they can beat the best teams out there, and they beat France. You know, and I think that the scoreboard is a big one, but Scotland are not far away. They beat England, and I think that's what probably Carl Steyn will probably be telling them, saying, yeah, the Six Nations slipped by, but there's something brewing here. So, well, Ireland, well, that's how you respond. You know, to starting off so badly, to then going and winning the remaining 4 games, giving yourself the chance to win the Six Nations. It'll all come down to France and England later. Italy now, just a win will give them a secured 4th place. They can't catch Scotland. Scotland will remain in 3rd unless France get pumped by about 80-odd points by England. So unlikely to happen. But what a success, people. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll hit you over. We're not doing a commentary, but we will have a track available for Wales versus Italy, as well as France versus England later. So make sure you go and jump on those later. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe.